be in the 15% of the population of your country that has a degree, inshallah. In Philippines, the figure is a bit higher. It's about 30%, right? So by going through an undergraduate program and graduating, inshallah, you are going to be in this small group of people, right? We term them intelligentsia. You're going to be the professionals of your country, right? And therefore, the amanah to you is much higher. If you are somebody that has primary school education, the chances that you are going to be leading in a corporate entity is very slim. It's not impossible, but relatively slim. Yeah, but all of you who are doing your current programs in the different universities, and when I looked at the list, I saw that there were a lot of you in English language, right? A lot of you doing communication. There were a few in economics or business studies, etc. Maybe even in the sciences and engineering. So all of you are going to be leaders. And that's very, very important thing to keep in mind. Now, the topic that I'm supposed to talk about is how this education that all of you are getting in your universities today, how is it going to ultimately contribute to the well-being of the Muslims in your societies and towards humanity in a bigger way, all right? Now, and of course, I'm also supposed to talk about how an integrated curriculum or integrated knowledge, how that helps to promote the agenda of serving the ummah. If you are in an Islamic university, like in IIUM, in your own countries, you may also have Islamic universities, all right? But of course, there are various kinds of Islamic universities, but we are talking about an Islamic university that is based on the philosophy of education that promotes integrated curriculum. Now, just as an example, since 1983, when IIUM was established, the first kuliah, there were two kuliah in the beginning, the Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Laws and the Kuliah of Economics and Management Sciences. In 83, it was called Kuliah of Economics because it was only economics department. What was the goal of the Kuliah of Economics? It was to produce graduates who are not only professionals, professional economists, accountant, those in business studies, in finance, to produce professionals, but at the same time, graduates who would be imbued with the values of Islam. Now, it was a very general statement, and therefore, but the idea was there already. Not only are we talking about knowledge, not only are we talking about skills that you need in order to become your industry leaders. If you are going to be in a bank, you need to have the knowledge of banking. If you're going to be in government ministry of economic planning, you need to understand about economic policies, about the economy, right? There is no sacrifice when it comes to the knowledge of your discipline. But very, very important, you must also have the right values, all right? The right values. And of course, in our case, we are talking about those values in Islam. I think Dr. Ali Zaman has already mentioned some, and I'm very sure in the sessions in the afternoon, you will hear about the other values. You need also these values. Only then will you be able to contribute to the well-being of your society, right? Now, if you have an Islamic university in a Muslim country, so in Malaysia, we are lucky because we have IIUM, all right, an Islamic university in a country which is also supporting Islamic education, especially the kind of university that IIUM is. So we are lucky in that sense because we have the support of the system, all right? So the most of you who are attending this, if not all of you, are coming from countries that you are not in a Muslim majority country. You are in Muslim minority countries, right? And therefore, it is even bigger challenge for all of you. If your university is not an Islamic university, and I looked at the universities that all of you are coming from, in Cambodia, I saw, Northern University, and there were a couple of other universities. From the Philippines, Mindanao State University, I think, had the biggest number, and there were a couple of others, right? So the universities that you are studying in may not be an Islamic university. So what are you studying? Right? What you will be studying in communication, economics, languages will be basically the curriculum and the knowledge that you can study in probably most other universities all over the world, right? And it replicates the universities that you will find and that were established maybe in many Western European countries that went all over the world, including in the developing world, for us in Southeast Asia. If you study economics, you will be studying basically maybe mainstream neoclassical economics, right? If you're studying communication or any other subject, the curriculum will be exactly as you would be studying, in England or in many other parts of the world. Religion is not part of your curriculum, unless, of course, your university has a faculty of theology or a faculty of religion. And even if they do, I'm not sure whether it's a faculty of Islamic studies. Yeah? Maybe not. Maybe yes. But even if you do have a faculty of Islamic studies, chances are you are studying knowledge that is very much focused on Sharia or fiqh, yeah? Or maybe kalam, maybe Arabic language, all right? So all of you are in a very, the standard position of universities all over the world. That is, either you become a professional in economics or communication or political science or whatever subject you are doing, or you become a graduate of Islamic studies and you become ustaz. This is the model that is probably in most parts of the world, all right? It is very unusual for universities in Muslim minority countries to have integrated curriculum in their university, especially if it's a public university, all right? So what does that mean? And where I want to come to what you need to do, all right? Now, all of you need to be working 2 times harder than your colleagues. You have colleagues, many of your colleagues are in different faculties. They are studying economics or communication or political science. They will study the modern political science and they will graduate, they become political scientists. But for all of you, and within this idea of integrated knowledge, you have to put in extra work. It reminds me of my time in IIUM when I was doing my undergraduate. We had to study modern economics and we also had to study Islamic economics. And we used to compare ourselves with our colleagues in other universities. They only had to study modern economics. But we had to study modern economics, we had to study Islamic economics, and then we had to also study Islamic civilization. Yeah, what was mentioned by Dr. Ali Zaman. We had to take this as well. So it was extra, well, I can say burden, but I don't want to say the word burden because this is what we need to do. All right? This is what you need to do. Therefore, you have in your current role as undergraduate or graduate student, you must try to your best to master your discipline, whether it is economics or accounting or business studies or communication, political science. You must excel, right? You must try to be the best, all right? Now, in addition to that, you also have to spend extra effort to gain knowledge in Islamic worldview, in Islamic heritage, in Islamic civilization. All right. And I think that this program, Triple IT program, is one of those programs that allows you the opportunity to gain exposure and to understand about your own civilization. So Triple IT is trying to help and to assist all of us to not only become masters in our own discipline, but at the same time, we need to be able to understand our Islamic civilization. Because unfortunately, if you look at the way people have presented all the wonderful, what do you call it, the discoveries for the last 1,000 years, it gives the impression as if all of this came from the West, yeah, from Europe. And of course, the Western civilization has contributed to the development of science and technology. There's no doubting that. But they also received their inputs from the Islamic civilization. All right. So what we are trying to do by organizing programs like this camp and by other programs that we are going to be organizing is to enable, especially those of you who may not have the ability to go and study in an Islamic university. We are allowing the opportunity for you to gain exposure to Islamic civilization, to Islamic heritage. And this is very, very important because not only do you need to master the knowledge, at the end of the day, you have to put that knowledge into practice. You have to become leaders in your own society because you are leaders. Remember, in Cambodia, 15% go to university or to higher education. In Philippines, 30%. So you are one of those 15 or 30%. Right? In addition to that, because you are in Muslim minority countries, you have an even harder task, right? The condition of your Muslim brothers and sisters in your own country, you have probably more work to do, all right? How to uplift the Muslim ummah in your country, but at the same time, to contribute to the bigger society. And I think this is very, very important, all right? Now, what I would like to do now, as I told before the session, I'm going to try and share with you a video of the IIUM song, all right? This song was not there when I went to university in the mid-80s. It was a song that was, developed maybe about 15 years ago. But I would like all of you, please, of course, for us, we find the song very, very, inspiring for us. It has a very nice tune, but I would like all of you, please, to try to follow the lyrics, the words, all right? Because the words really tell you what is expected of all of you, all right? And why you are in university, and what you need to do, and what is expected of you. Okay, so please bear with me. I hope this works out. If not, then I will ask Brother Shazwan, but inshallah it will work out. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yes,
yes,
so,
we can.
So I hope this works. Yeah, so please enjoy.
Prof, rasanya tak dengar.
Oh, why?
Dia rasanya sebab mungkin Prof pakai apa? Earphone. Tak apa, saya try buka.
Okay, you try. Let me stop.
Saya try buka.
Ya, ya.
Possible, Shazwan?
Sekejap, sekejap. Tengah buka ya. IUM song.
My apologies. I hope we can do this because I really would really like to share with you this song.
Okay, what is the title of the song? There is one participant asking a question, Doctor.
Leading the way. And I think it's coming now. I hope this works. Can you all see it? And I hope we can hear it as well. There's no sound, huh?
Dengar tak?
Nah, there is no sound. So there is something wrong with the sound system.
Still no sound,
Can we ask any participants or brother someone try to help, and if there is sounds, then we can just share screen, or that participant can share screen. What do you think?
Well, Shazwan is trying now.
Can anyone try?
We are not hearing it. Yeah.
Oh, tak dengar, bro. Saya dengar dalam komputer dengar. Oh, okey, sekejap. Saya salah. Wait, this is unmute. Sekejap. Stop share. Oh, ni saya unmute.
Okay. Wait.
Anyone? Maybe we just another.
Saya try balik.
Okay. If we can't hear, maybe we just look at the words and. Okay. Yes.
Sudah? Okay, saya start dari awal.
Okay. Make it a bit louder. I think it's a little soft. Very soft. Can make it a bit louder, that would be great.
Let's lead the way, light in the future, share the wisdom to the spirit of this time. Revelation. Emerging faith and knowledge, Khalifa will fulfill make the world a better place forever. Expand the cultural
Ya Allah.
Okay, thank you very much, Shazwan, for sharing that. Apologies that we were not able to, get the sound up to the level that you could hear it. And at the end of the video, there was a basketball shot. Yeah, what you didn't see is that the person actually threw the ball into the net. Yeah, he scored a goal. I think this is very significant. Now, I just want to share with you this song was the lyrics were done by our third rector, Professor Kamal Hassan, who was actually the intellectual founder of of IIUM. The IIUM is basically his own ideas, of course, benefiting from the great ideas of other scholars who talked about Islamic university. All right, many scholars have been talking about the need to have an Islamic university. You can go back to Muhammad Iqbal, you can, and then in more recent times, Professor Said Naqib Al-Atas. But Professor Kamal was the one that talked about IIUM in the model that we have. Yeah? So he wrote the lyrics when he was the rector from 99 to 2006 or 7, and this has become the song. Now, what is so inspiring, at least to me and to others, and inshallah all of you, if you get to listen to this song on your own, the points are, we are the leaders, you are the leaders. In whatever field you are going to be, you are going to be the leader, especially in your own community, right? 15%, 30%, right? So you are already, if I talk about it from economics point of view, you are the top 20% of income earners in your country, right? By having a degree, at least. So you need to excel. So that's the word in the song, excel. You need to prevail. You need to make sure that you succeed, right? Why? Because you are going to be the leader. And you are going to do this, right, as a duty. It is an amanah on all of you, right? And when you talk about amanah, don't forget honesty, ethical values, integrity, right? Integrity. For example, yesterday there was a lecture on a great scholar from Indonesia, Hamka, yeah? Haji Abdul Malik Karim Amrullah, Hamka from Indonesia. And it was shown how a man of great integrity he was. He could have been given all kinds of posts and wealth, but he refused, right? So integrity, very important. So all of you are leaders, right? You're going to excel, you're going to prevail in your own areas, but you're going to do it with Islamic values, all right? And now how do you do it? With the culture of Iqra. And I think this was already discussed by Dr. Ali Zaman, so I don't need to spend long time on this. Knowledge basically from Islamic perspective. We acquire knowledge in the name of Allah, all right? And then we have to master not only our own disciplines, but also the Islamic heritage, the Islamic worldview, yeah, knowledge of Islamic civilization. And then what do you do? After you get this knowledge and you graduate, etc., what do you do? Rahmatan lil alamin. Right? You need to engage. You need to contribute. You need to serve your ummah, your bigger society. All right? Why? Because you want to make the world a better place, right? So this is the song. This is the IIUM song. And Alhamdulillah, for the last almost coming to 40 years now, another 2 years, it will be 40 years, or 3 years, it will be 40 years. We have been getting students from all over the world, from more than 100 countries, yeah, and they have been contributing to their communities and to the global ummah and to humanity, right, and making a difference. All right. So I think that's the message that I want to mention, yeah, to everybody. If you are going to be the high school teacher, the university lecturer, the corporate banker, the accountant, the businessman, the political science lecturer, or the politician, right? for the central bank, official or even governor, inshallah. You have to excel, you have to prevail, you must have amanah, right? You must understand not only your own professional discipline, but you must be imbued with Islamic values and you must contribute to your society. You must engage with your community, all right? Having the knowledge only for yourself is not what the idea and the mission and the agenda of a Muslim should be. It must be to contribute to their community, all right? And therefore, to make the world a better place, all right? So you need to lead the way, right? You need to lead the way for your community. I think I want to stop here and I welcome questions or comments, whether it is specific question on something or general question. Wallahu alam, I hand it back to Sister Nurani to the participants. Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Dr. Haneef. That is very useful advice. Actually, you have used exactly your time. I was writing to remind you in your message. That is correct, right? It's perfect. You have used all of your time. Thank you very much. So I would like to give the floor to our participants. Please, do you have any questions to our doctor? Please welcome. He is ready to answer your question. Thank you, please. Any participant from the Philippines or Cambodia?
Him message.
Okay, checking the chat, you mean? Huh?
Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Doctor, I have two questions. First question is about the situation Islam in a Muslim country like Philippines. Because I live in Cambodia, that we are the MENA Muslim country also.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry. Assalamualaikum, Doctor and everyone. My name is Him Masjid and Muslim name Abdul Rashid bin Ibrahim. I am a tourism student in year 4 in Royal University of Phnom Penh. And now I live in the capital city of Cambodia, Phnom Penh. And now I have two questions to ask Doctor. One is about the Islam situation in Philippines, the MENA Muslim country like Cambodia also, because I study tourism. So inshallah, one day I will go to visit Philippines. But I want to know about the situation first in Philippines. Like, do Muslims have the right as the other citizen, or is it hard for Philippines to do their work in that country? And is it hard for the Muslim tourists when they visit in Philippines? And it is my first question. And the second question is about the accounting student in Philippines. Do they feel like difficulty to find a job after they graduate from university because of mostly in Cambodia the religion mostly is the Buddhism. So mostly for the bank we have like a riba, it's like the interest. So the Muslim student cannot work in that bank. So what about in Philippines? Is it difficult for students that study for accounting after they graduate? Yeah, thank you for my question. That's all.
Thank you very much to the brother. I think this question better to be answered by Dr. Ali Zaman or anybody from the Philippines, because he was asking about the situation in Philippines. So I wouldn't be very capable to answer the situation in the Philippines. So if somebody from Philippines would like to, would be wonderful.
Better, Prof, to motivate our students, participants from Philippines to respond to that.
Yeah, why not? Please.
Yeah, please. Many there are few of them who are studying law. So students, participants who from law, please kindly address the question. Not only law students, also anyone who is willing to share his or her thoughts. please.
Come,
The program is for them.
this is a camp, so we want interaction between you. So please, anybody from the Philippines who would like to, to answer, is it easy to get a job? How are you going to do your job in a country that is not necessarily a Muslim country, right? How do you function? And if I can connect it to the IIUM song, how do you serve your ummah in a country which may not be very supportive of an Islamic alternative?
Yeah.
Anyone? Let me just also remind everybody, there is a lot we can learn from other minority Muslim communities, right? The Muslims in America, the Muslims in Europe, they do a wonderful job, in terms of developing that Islamic environment among the community, right? They may not have also the support of the national system, but they are able to do it at the community level, very effectively. In fact, there are many things that they do which we can really learn from. If in this part of the world, we can learn a lot from our brothers in Singapore, for example, in how they organize the Muslim community in Singapore. Yeah? So
Yeah.
I'm sure we can learn. So please, somebody from the Philippines.
Maybe we can ask Abdur Rahman Guru. Abdur Rahman Guru, please.
Yes, please, Brother Abdul Rahman.
Unmute him. Try, inshallah. Abdur Rahman, I like your name.
Can Shazwan or whoever is controlling, you can unmute Abdul Rahman.
Okay, yes.
If not, then we may go to another comment or question. Maybe Abdul Rahman will come in a bit later. If there's anybody else.
Yes,
Khairun
I
is
guess
there.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. I'm from. Do you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes, clear. Khairun is
Yes. I'm from the Philippines. I'm a minority here, and although I will admit I have not been here long because I was raised overseas. I was actually raised in Saudi Arabia, but in my time here, I've been residing here for more than 8 years now, and in my time here, as I observed and as I see on TV on local TV, there's actually there's no problem as to Muslim tourists because Filipinos in general are very welcoming. And although yes, I will admit there are many of us um, there are some of us, some Filipinos uh, who are who are anti-Muslims or not very welcoming towards their Muslim brothers and sisters. But if you visit here in the Philippines, you'll see that there are actually a lot of Muslims or a lot of Muslim people in many parts of the country, especially us. I would like to refer to my tribe, the Maranao tribe. So you'd see a lot of us, a majority of us, not only residing here in our local area, but in other areas as well as especially in major cities. So I don't think Muslim tourists would have a problem visiting the Philippines. I don't think they would encounter, they would encounter
problem.
that many problems. Yes, as for Muslim employees here, again, yes, I've observed and I've heard stories that there are some employers or there are some companies who discriminate against Muslims, but then um, I think it all depends on your background and the way they see you as a person does not really Because if if you present yourself in a good way, and as long as you don't encounter those few people who are innately, or who were oriented from a very young age to be to discriminate against Muslims, and I don't think you'd also have a problem seeking employment here as a Muslim. Especially, I think I heard the guy or the questioner mentioning accounting.
Yes, I think so.
Accounting, yes, and um, actually, many of us Muslim Filipinos, especially in our tribe, especially here in Mindanao State University, many of us actually pursue accounting, an accounting degree, and so I think you'd encounter a lot of Muslim Filipinos who are employed as accountants, or employed in jobs, or in in sectors in sectors of the society that have something to do with accounting degrees or accounting education. So I don't think it would also be a problem.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much, Sister Khairunisa. I can also
Yes,
add one
sir.
point. Uh,
Yes, sir.
there is a very active brother from the Philippines. Maybe Ali Zaman, the name I miss. He's an accountant. The Philippine Accountant Association, or Association of Accountants. Very active, and I think recently
JTIA.
they passed certain legislation, right? I think in the Philippines, to allow establishment of Islamic bank or Islamic banking, right? So you are right. They are very active, and therefore, this is what is happening. But again, if I can just say, it is up to all of you, because you are the 15%, you are the 30%. Those who go to universities and graduate, when you do well and you are becoming leaders in your society, you will be the one that will make the change, right? So it is actually for you, yeah, the brother from Cambodia who asked the question. You have to be taking up the agenda to for example, promote tourism, yeah, which is Muslim friendly in Cambodia, right? You need to take up that task. Similarly, for maybe an Islamic bank in Cambodia, Brother Farid is already actively establishing an Islamic university, inshallah, in Cambodia. So you are the ones who are going to be, the ones leading the way. Yeah. Yes, next. Any other